Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's stupendous to see you again this week.
Yes, last week this time, we were updating you, giving predictions if we were going to have a federal shutdown.
If.
Guess what? We're in a federal shutdown. So what we're going to do this week is just update you on everything, keeping you the most informed here in Northern Virginia when it comes to real estate.
Yeah, and probably one of the questions that keeps arising is with regard to in the purchasing of these beautiful properties here in the Northern Virginia area. Are loans, especially kind of the government-oriented like the VA and the FHA loan, are they being hampered? Are they still being processed? Conventional loans are indeed, but you know what? It's pretty much business as usual with regard to conventional financing, FHA, and VA. The one stipulation to that, though, as it relates to federal workers, if a worker is on furlough, they may have a position there when the government goes back into service. But currently during this time, the lenders are perceiving that as being just like you're unemployed, so that there's no paycheck being received. So therefore, you can't show that last, if you will, verification of income. And interestingly enough, even with the essential workers, even though they may be forced to show up to work, they're not getting paid. That also is just like a furloughed situation.
Yeah.
Interesting little tidbit that we learned this afternoon.
It's very unfortunate, especially if you're in the middle of a transaction. This can really make deals fall apart.
Yeah.
What we recommend is if you are under contract, the first thing you need to do, or you're thinking of going under contract, is contact your lender, because it seems that a lot of the authority to verify income is coming from the underwriters. So that particular lender that you're using needs to verify income. Now, how they do that is really up to that underwriter. And so that's why it's so important for you to reach out to them, because some underwriters, I understand, actually send in a form to the IRS for income verification.
Good tidbit.
Now, if you're working with a lender who requires that, then you need to see, will they accept some other form? Will they take the pay stub? Will they take something else? So it's really important to stay very close to your lender during this time.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about it last week, but we have a wonderful family that's buying through a USDA program. And unfortunately, that whole program has been shut down. So it's in the Department of Agriculture, that's its base. And so therefore, because they're not there, there's nobody there to process that loan. So some of those special type, if you will, specific type of loans may be hampered, but apparently it's business as usual for everybody else.
Yes, and the other thing that we're getting questioned a lot on as well is mortgage interest rates and what this means for mortgage interest rates. So the big news is that a lot of the departments who actually produce the data that the Federal Reserve uses to make decisions on whether they're going to lower the federal funds rate, they're not working.
Yeah.
So the freeze affects them. So what that means is that data is not coming in for them to make that decision. I think the next meeting is October 26th.
On the 9th, actually.
On the 9th?
Yeah, the 29th.
Okay, 29th. So again, what are they going to use to make that decision? Are they even going to have a meeting? We're not sure yet.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to find that out. But in the meantime, we're also seeing a lot of private companies like ADP releasing their job reports almost, showing this loss of jobs in the last month. Are they going to use private entities to make decisions? I don't think so. So it'll be really curious to see what happens. Now, depending on that, right now, mortgage interest rates, thankfully, are staying steady below that 6.4. But again, it's almost like the stock market. One day I can watch it at 6.2, the next day it jumps to 6.7.
It's exploding, right?
So you really have to keep an eye. And I think a lot of people are I'm thankful. I think everyone is thankful. They're staying steady. Let's hope it stays that way, and let's see what the Federal Reserve does.
Yeah, because the marketplace in itself, we were just doing some statistics earlier for a couple of properties, couple of listings that we're working on, and it seems like the number of sales, at least certainly in the last 30 days, are very good. As you look at these neighborhoods, Leesburg here is one of the ones that we looked at this afternoon. the number of properties under contract and ready to go to settlement are far larger. That number is larger than the properties that are available or active. And then the number of sales that occurred over the last 30 days, even larger than that. So there's still a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy in the marketplace. We talk about open houses. We both did open houses this last weekend, and our turnout was good. And there was a lot of good discussion with the people that came through. So overall, at least at this point, and we're just a week into this shutdown, everybody seems to be out, about, and actually energy and optimism seems to abound right now.
Yes, and there are definitely some opportunities there, especially for investors, especially for all cash buyers. This is a time that it's unfortunate for a lot of people, honestly, but there are
a lot
those
of hardships
out there who are ready to go, and it shouldn't hamper them in this situation. But what we like to offer is that if you have a particular situation you'd like to discuss with us, we're going to have a link below. Book an appointment with us. We can do a phone call. We can do a Zoom call. We can do an in-person call. But book an appointment. Let's talk and find out how we can help you.
Yeah, we're here to serve. So until next week, we'll have another update for you at that point. But let us know how you guys feel about this, because we are listening to this on a day-to-day basis, and we want to know your thoughts.
Yes, book that appointment.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.